system on our computers. For example, one writer, using one of the state-of-the-art speech-to-text systems, dictated the following words into his computer. He dictated book tour, and it came out on the screen as back to work. Another example, he said, "I truly couldn't see," and it came out on the screen as a cruelly good MC. Even more disconcertingly, he started a letter to his parents by saying, "Dear Mom and Dad," and what came out on the screen, "The man is dead." Now, dictation systems have gotten better and better, but they still have a way to go before they can duplicate a human stenographer. What is it about the problem of speech understanding that makes it so easy for a human, but so hard for a computer? Well, there are two main contributors. One of them is the fact that each phoneme, each vowel or consonant, actually comes out very differently depending on what comes before and what comes after, a phenomenon sometimes called co-articulation. Let me give you an example. The place called Cape Cod has two k sounds, each of them symbolized by the...
Greetings once again. Just to carry on what we was talking about earlier in relation to the words, creation of words, and how words are programs. Basically, words have hidden messages in them. They've got hidden sounds that you're not taught unless you're not given the knowledge of unless you go to a grammar school. If you don't go to grammar school, then you're just seeing words as letters, a bunch of letters that you're taught to spell. So, for instance, the word return, you'd be told to spell the word. So there's two instances. There's looking at the word if you go to a grammar school. So if your child goes to grammar school, and if your child goes to comprehensive school. If your child goes to comprehensive school, it's all about comprehending the word, understanding the instruction. So you'll be taught the word return will be R-E-T-U-R-N, return. And they'll be told to say that the way that they'll teach or you'll be taught the language, there'll be no reasoning behind why these letters equal that program. So the child will go, and that's how we learn, is R-E-T-U-R-N, R-E-T-U-R-N, return, R-E-T-U-R-N, return, R-E-T-U-R-N, return. Now, I want you to just listen to that sequence of events, what I've just done to you. I'll do it again. R-E-T-U-R-N, return, R-E-T-U-R-N, return, R-E-T-U-R-N, return. This is a process of being taught. So tautology, basically, what it is doing is just imprinting this word into your brain without no reasoning about how these letters equal that action or equation. So once again, inside the word taught is the sound ought. Ought is automatic. So basically, you're being taught to do things automatically by the process of learning how to spell the word. So you'll start to do the actions that the person who's giving you the word to do without any thought process, because you've been taught. So because you've been taught what you ought to be doing, there'll be no thought process in what you ought to be doing. So once again, R-E-T-U-R-N, R-T-U, and then that's what happened. Then you'll have a spelling test where you have to recite those letters once again. So once again, you know what the letters are, but there'll be no reasoning or thought processing why these letters equal the program of what to do, the letters. Now, if your child goes to grammar school, the same letters, that your child will be told that words have a Latin origin, and the Latin gives you the precise translation. So you'll be taught, you won't be taught a bunch of letters. You'll be given R-E, so they'll be telling you R-E is the Latin word for going back. And then you'll be given other examples of that. So recall, remember, renew, return. So that means you'll be given an awareness, you'll be given an awareness and knowledge, and you'll be able to see and hear that every time you see the word R-E, you know it means backwards. So this is without having to memorize things. You'll just know things. So that's the difference between having knowledge when you know something and when you have to put something to memory. You got to put something to memory that you don't know about, that you find hard. This is why your children finds it hard with school, because your child is a learning device, a high learning device, and the child, it shuts the child down when the child is just given a bunch of figures without no reasoning, because everybody knows your child likes to question things. So when they go to a schooling system where they're just given a bunch of letters and told to spell it, this is why your child starts to have problems at school, because the child even senses, the child wants to ask a question, but the process of being taught, you're not allowed to question to any certain level. So once again, so one child will learn a bunch of letters and let things happen. The other child be shown that there's a program behind these letters, so that if I say the word revolve now, one child will learn REVOLVE, revolve, learn to spell. The other child will know that once again, Mr. Go back, volve means to turn. So every time the child sees the word volve, it knows it really means to turn. Involve means to turn in. Revolve means to turn back. Evolve means to turn out. So once you can see, there's two different languages that are being learned inside the one language. So basically every language, there's two languages in it. But we who go to comprehensive school only learn one of the languages, while someone who goes to grammar school learns the other language inside it. So there's a secret language inside, and once again you go to grammar school to be able to program the people who don't know the hidden meanings in words. So basically somebody who knows law can program you to do things because you do not know the law. So basically you have to do everything that they say, because you do not have you have the understanding. You don't have the understanding, so you have to stand under it.
Okay then. But coming back to what Naomi and Natalie was speaking about, the whole thing about how our mind is being controlled, and they're using divisive now to control it. In fact, from what Natalie was saying, and what is a known fact, and Naomi was saying that, I mean, they actually just, put these little chips, use the word chips, in your head, you know, and also they're playing certain kind of music, certain kind of to control the mind, you know, and actually start monitoring people, you know. And as we know, if you watch, there's a film called Enemy of the State, where starred with Will Smith, and that was a few years ago. But I mean, these are kind of things they're doing now. I just want to throw this out a little bit with you, jammers. First, to get your opinion, and also, get you to, you know, look at this and basically, you get to look at it. I was going to say to break down the words, but it's no point breaking these words down. But I mean, just look at these things and what's your view on what's being said. And if you want to break down, because knowing you probably look at these things and look at the words and break it down and make sense to us. Yeah.
Well, very simple. As I said, the whole concept is to dumb you down. They don't want to give your child the opportunity to overtake their child. So the whole process of someone who...
I want to say that again. The purpose is to dumb you down, so they don't want our child to
overtake their child. They're not going to create a system that's going to give their child the opportunity to overtake their child. You know, so the whole process, since STEM means to stop. A cyst is a growth. So you have a cyst growing in you, where you go to the doctor to take out the cyst. You know, and STEM means to stop. You stem the flow of water, you know, on the ship. So system means to stop your growth. So basically, the system, the device to stop your growth, is actually one. They do it through every process, you know. And technology means to take your knowledge away, basically, because before you used to be able to go to Brixton, you know, but now you need a machine to do it, you know. So basically, every time we use look how the trains now. There's nobody at the train station anymore now. You've got a computer now that you've got to deal with. You know, so basically, as society so-called advances, you know, mankind has less skills. No more skills are required from man. So man is getting dumbed down. You know, used to be able to go to serve an apprenticeship to learn a skill. But as society so-called evolves, man has less and less use and becomes useless. So the whole system, the whole mentality of somebody who doesn't deal with natural law, you know, is to create a system of competition, you know, a system of warfare where they can maintain the upper hand, you know. So it's just as I said, but okay, it's one thing to look at technology, but the thing is, it's already in the cradle. It's already done in the cradle. You know, the program is already done in the cradle, because as well, the master of scarcity knows how to train animals. So if you have the skill how to train animals, it doesn't take much to be able to train the human being as well. And their whole work ethic is to use the science to see how they can turn the science against the other person to maintain their upper hand. So they know the science of how to create habits, you know, how to create behavior, how the mind thinks. You know, all science is developed towards having control of resources, including the human species. So their whole process of when you're taught in school is that they're training you to reign over you, to make you have a certain behavioral pattern that they can pattern by giving you the information to make you move in the formation that they require you to do. You know, everything is designed for you to follow or toe the line, or to follow the rules and regulations that have been laid out from birth to cradle. You know, everything that you do via the entertainment, fashion industry, music industry, and sport industry, a message has been sent out there for you to act in a certain way, and you get rewarded if you act in the way that the master has told you to act. You have no freedom to be able to create your own environment where you can function, because this environment is created by the law, society, and the authority, and the rulership, and the dictatorship that has put you in this vehicle that you have to toe the line and follow everything in your sight. You know, you have to do everything, or otherwise they will bring down the law on you. You know, and if you progress through the system, you get degrees of knowledge. That means you lose your holistic ability to do things wholly. You get a degree. A degree means when something is taken away.
Right. Okay then. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a bit of this recording. What kind of ties into what Jam was talking about, and talking about the whole thing about health, the whole thing of what is the mind, right? And I want people to listen to this recording very tensely. And then after that, we're bringing the Naomi and Natalie back into the whole reasoning.
Well, you could say it's the absence of disease. But then if you say that, what is disease? Well, we know that disease is when we fall ill and when we have functional and pathological problems that stop us doing, stop us moving, stop us being who we want to be. If you like, they restrict us, they hold us in. And so you could say that health is the absence of these pathological and biological issues. It's the freedom of disease. It's to be without symptoms. So when you go to see a health practitioner, they are trying to remove your symptoms. That's one way of looking at it. But another way to look at health is, what does health give us when we are truly healthy? When we are in good health, then we don't really think about our bodies and our minds and our emotions. We're just in the flow of life. That is to be in good health. And you could say that really it's the freedom to have creativity, to be able to be as free and express yourself as creatively as you would like. And it's interesting to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs when considering health, because I think that the healthier you are, the more likely you are to be able to express yourself through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So his first set of needs were the physiological needs, the need for security, for safety, to have a shelter, to have food and water and warmth and heat and light, those basic physiological requirements for us to survive as an organism. And to have those, you need to have those in order to be healthy, to live healthily. Then there's the next layer of needs is around safety and security. So to have the security and the safety of a good job, to have a good income, and to have a good house and a good home, and those kind of things that give you stability and security. If you have those, then you can be healthy. The next level up was in Maslow's hierarchy of needs is to do with belonging. And that's to do with family and friendships and a sense of belonging and connection with others. And that's very important, and that moves you up in the hierarchy. If you have the psychological things in place, if you have a sense of safety and security, and you have a sense of belonging and connection, then you can move on to the next level, which is around self-esteem. So you have confidence, and you have a sense of achievement, and you're able to go out and do things in life and achieve things and set goals. And if you have all of that, and you have your health, and you're able to do all of that, then you can move to the highest level, which is about self-actualization. And this is to do with having a true purpose in life and being completely free to express yourself with spontaneity and creativity and to be true to who you really are. It's about having a life purpose, about being able to solve things and thinking on your feet and enjoying life. And I think to be truly healthy, to be free of your symptoms and to be living in this way, with fulfilling your true purpose, and to have a sense of being and purpose in life, that's the true definition of health. And in order to have that, of course, you have to have all those other things that Maslow describes in his hierarchy. So when we talk about health in homeopathy, when we talk about the healthy person, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody being able to express themselves freely and creatively at the highest levels of their being, and being able to put themselves into life. So it's not just about being free of symptoms as we have come to know them, as they're talked about in society today. We're talking about a lot more than just physical pathology. We're talking a lot more than just coughs and rashes and achy knees and respiratory problems or circulatory problems. It goes a lot deeper, and actually the whole person's connected. So all of this is connected anyway. You know, if I have mental and emotional stress, then it's going to be expressing itself in the physical being. It's going to be manifesting on all levels of being, and that's going to stop me being creative. So, and being free. So, you know, if I develop an achy knee and then that develops into arthritis and I'm unable to walk as much as I used to be able to, then sure, that's restricting me creatively and in a freedom sense. But so is waking up every morning and worrying about money, or worrying about my job, or having relationships.
Yes, and that's very powerful recording that, you know, because he already said, if you're not able to express yourself, you know, emotionally, right, it's going to cause certain kind of stress internally, see? And that's what we're under right now, jammers, that we're not able to express ourselves, see? And that's why that causes stress and emotionally we're out of balance, right? And James, we're up against a lot of things in in society here, right? Because this recording talks about what is good health. What is good health? And then when you break it down, you're looking at a holistic approach to think about health, because food, clothes, and shelter, right? If you don't have those things as human needs, right, you're under stress. You see what I'm saying? So unless you do people's basic needs, right, you're winning. But if not being doing basic needs, you're always gonna be on the tag of struggling in this society here, And one thing you said, Jam, is what makes so much sense, that it's supreme wisdom, that nature has everything. God didn't make a mistake. See, you can't buy fresh air. Yeah, you can't kill fresh air. Anybody kill fresh air? Kill air, take a gun and shoot. Water. You can't kill water, bomb up water, or poison it. It got in a different kind of form. See? Nature. So the point I'm trying to say to that, look for nature for an answer. Go to nature. Rap with nature. Fall in love with nature, because nature's in love with us. It's a marriage. See? So it's all about going back. See? And things. So I just want to get your spin on certain things, Jan, because this all ties in your thing about with the mind, right? And all about how our mind's being controlled, bombarded by the media, the TV, and in extreme cases, right? They bugged us, certain people, and the sisters come with some around research to bring this to the table, and they're very brave to talk about this and bring it to the table. But we'll be hearing from them a little bit later on, very shortly, But Jamis, I want to get your spin on things.
Well, I say, unless we leave all the teachings of the Western world behind us and activate our higher chemic consciousness, we're going to suffer from the same affliction that has afflicted the mind of the oppressor, which is of a battle against nature, where you're only going to poison and infect yourself, and it's going to enter your demise, end up in war, poverty, and a malfunctioning and poverty, starvation, and an alienated sense of being. Unless we leave the teachings of somebody who works off a linear mind frame, we're never going to be able to find our true sense of self, because as a melanated people, we have a deep history and science of civilization and how to work with nature, how to activate our minds to our optimum level. But we're trying to function in a level of somebody who works on depravity and works from a lack. The basis of any of the sciences that they bring or study is based on their lack or a feeling of disassociation with nature. Any science that they do is against nature, because they also always have to develop some form of machinery that pollutes or destroys the planet and doesn't involve the activity of any man-made. It doesn't work with even themselves, because the industries and economics that they create, no man is required. So they're actually creating a society against themselves. They're actually creating a society that's working against their own existence on the planet. So we have to leave the consciousness of the Western mind alone, and activate our higher level of working with nature, working together and supporting each other, creating our own environments where we can optimize our true potential and take our rightful positions on this planet.
Absolutely correct. There, let me play a bit more of the recording.
Many courses for different levels, but thanks for watching. What is health? Well, you could say it's the absence of disease, but then if you say that, what is disease? Well, we know that disease is when we fall ill and when we have functional and pathological problems that stop us doing, stop us moving, stop us being who we want to be. If you like, they restrict us, they hold us in. And so you could say that health is the absence of these pathological and biological issues. It's the freedom of disease. It's to be without symptoms. So when you go to see a health practitioner, they are trying to remove your symptoms. That's one way of looking at it. But another way to look at health is, what does health give us when we are truly healthy? When we are in good health, then we don't really think about our bodies and our minds and our emotions. We're just in the flow of life. That is to be in good health. And you could say that really it's the freedom to have creativity, to be able to be as free and express yourself as creatively as you would like. And it's interesting to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs when considering health, because I think that the healthier you are, the more likely you are to be able to express yourself through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So his first set of needs were the physiological needs, the need for security.
Yes, and it's all about the mind. What is health? What does health give us? And the question is, are we meeting our needs? True purpose of life. Are we on our purpose? So, when we're talking about health and well-being and everything, you have to bring everything into perspective. Are you on purpose? Are you setting your goals? Are you on your life goals? Are you planning for your destiny? Are you got a vision for yourself and your family, etc.? See? So, the reason why I played recording is just to give it a little spin, little perspective, little focus. Because last time what Jan was talking about really is talking about the whole thing about the mind, and also talking about are we on course? Because before you sail out, if you go on a ship, if you're captain of a ship, right, you have to know exactly where you're going. And some have to do some bit of research. You got a bit of knowledge about the ship navigating and etc. See, it's like ourselves, right? When we set out on a journey, we need to have some kind of knowledge on where we're going and be aware of danger. See, because we have to be honest that the system have an agenda for us, right? So we have to be a clear agenda and avoid them gender. See? And it's leading quite neatly, because John's been touching the whole thing about with the young people who again have been targeted, been programmed. See? Right? Why is it there's so many young people, are just rampantly, just want to kill our next young person, and don't feel a way at all. That's because they've been programmed. They've been programmed by so many different ways. By the food they're eating, seen, by what they're being exposed to, seen, and also some have been chipped. See? And these are the kind of things what Jones can probably bring to the table to us. And people might say, Joe, what kind of business? I want people to make up them thing there. No. I mean, and it tells in their program, in their films. See? So we need to know what time it is. And this is what John has always been talking about. understand what time it is. Anyway, I don't want to go on because Gemma's got some serious information he want to bring to the table with our young people. Come true, Gemma's.
So to say, people stop listening to all the negative talk that everybody's giving to you, you know, through the films. All you're seeing is murder, killing, you know, then they're showing front page headlines of how you assassinating each other. But they're not showing how you academically achieving. There's some great achievers out there of our youngsters that are excelling past beyond any other member of society. But this is what's not being shown, and this is what we have to start to do, because when you see negative things, it perpetuates negative behavior. So now we have to start, as I said, move away from the consciousness of the Western mind that is just interested in showing every aspect of negativity or depravity. And the only way to activate yourself of a higher nature is to start to realize that you come from a higher source, that you have the capacity to create your own destiny. You know, when you tap into, you know, the science and the genetics and the greatness of our past, you know, then you can actually aspire to do that. And even our recent greats, like Muhammad Ali or anybody who's performing at a higher level, this society is obsessed with showing you negative images, because they know that we have the power to create anything that we see in front of us, having the melanin in us that activates our creativity of our 1 billion neuron cells. The neuron is the mass communicating process that we have in us. And as I said in the last show, that one neuron communicates with 2,000 neurons at any moment in time. So basically you have 1 trillion neurons of activity on anything that you focus on. So anytime you focus on something, it's not just your mind process that is communicating what you're seeing, it's also your neurons that's communicating all around of your body. And this is what is the habit creating process that you have. So once all your neurons are communicating at the same time and you focus on anything, look at the word focus backwards, you see suck off. So basically that whatever you focus on is sucking off the energy that you are giving it, and in return what's happening is that you're activating yourself, and your neurons produce dopamine. So basically produce a dopamine in your mind. So basically you can actually dope your mind into having an addiction. So basically, if you're thirsty and you move and get some whiskey, you know that you're showing your body that thirst equals whiskey. So once you get thirsty, you drink the whiskey, you've got 1 trillion neurons communicating. When he's thirsty, getting whiskey, then the feeling of drinking that whiskey is going to activate the dopamine in your mind, creating addiction. So now every time you're thirsty, your body actually creates the feeling of the whiskey in your mind, and before you know it, you've got whiskey in your hand. So the Western society is an expert of training animals and boasts of the science based on the anatomy, and in Greek means a lack. So a lack of atoms, anatomy, a lack of atoms. So their science is devoted into training and domesticating resources around them. So basically they know the science of controlling behaviors, you know, creating habits, and we have to start to be able to get out of the program by being able to master this ability ourselves, and we can create our own habits. We can be the creator and the created.
Okay then. And Jamus, boy, you're the on farm, man, because I like how you broke that down to us, my brother. Really is powerful what you just said there. And I just want to step in there now, Jamus, because when we're talking about the system, and people might say, what are we talking about, you know, the system, you know, are they really trying to attack our young people? Yes, absolutely yes. And it's not something they've been doing from just the other day. This is something doing from, way back from slavery. Because one of the things they done, you see, Jammers, when you think about it, right? And it's something I've really meditated on this, see? Where if we were so strong as a family, right? We had a culture, you know, we had our religion, we had everything intact, right? How come we're so vulnerable, so weak now? And they had to destroy the family, divide the man from the women, right? It's no different today what they're doing right now. Because our young boys, right, they are just genius, just raw genius. So as you said, they had to keep them, dumb them down, so they continue to control. Because like you said earlier on, right, out of your supreme wisdom, they don't want our child to be more brighter than them, bypass them. So they have a systematic way of doing things. And these people work day and night, 24 hours. When one rests off, our next set of people take over to control our mind. Even when you're asleep, they might try to control our mind still, see? Right? So this is where we're at this present moment. So, jammers, as we're speaking right now, what do you think is the way forward? Or what do you think, and when we use the word way forward, I know it's a kind of a loosely kind of question still, because I don't expect this to give us the whole answer way forward, but I just want to put things to kind of shape and get your perspective in terms of what you think is the way forward. Give some kind of focus.
We've got to stop listening to nouns, start analysing verbs. What I mean like that, we have to understand the science. Everything is based on science. Basically, if you don't know science, then you don't know yourself. They give you a degree of knowledge, so they want you to just understand one level. They might want you to understand biology and not understand physics, or maybe want you to understand law, but don't understand anatomy. So basically, your knowledge of self is the knowledge of the sciences of what creates you. That is the real essence of who you really are. You are a scientific being that runs off science. If you don't know the science of your car's going to break down and you're not going to know how to fix it. So basically, the language that we're learning does not involve any form of science. The only time language is relevant is when the scientific aspect of the language is. If you don't know your science, you're going to end up enjoying poisoning and killing yourself. You're going to know that even a basic insect will not take something in its system that's going to poison or be detrimental to it. But us as human beings now are addicted to the enjoyment of poisons. So we will happily go to Kentucky and eat Kentucky, or go down to Burger King and eat a Burger King, or drink alcohol or smoke, do something that's going to poison us, because our scientific ability and feeling, and our essence of nature, being in tune to nature, has been taken away by this system. Until we once again fall into line with the laws of nature, we're going to end up going against the laws of nature and actually extincting ourselves, if that's even a word.
Okay then. So what I'm going to do is that play a bit more of the recording again. So
I don't think it's a word actually.
Say that. What is disease? Well, we know that disease is when we fall ill and when we have functional and pathological problems that stop us doing, stop us moving, stop us being who we want to be. If you like, they restrict us, they hold us in. And so you could say that health is the absence of these pathological and biological issues. It's the freedom of disease. It's to be without symptoms. So when you go to see a health practitioner, they are trying to remove your symptoms. That's one way of looking at it. But another way to look at health is, what does health give us when we are truly healthy? When we are in good health, then we don't really think about our bodies and our minds and our emotions. We're just in the flow of life. That is to be in good health. And you could say that really it's the freedom to have creativity, to be able to be as free and express yourself as creatively as you would like. And it's interesting to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs when considering health, because I think that the healthier you are, the more likely you are to be able to express yourself through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So his first set of needs were the physiological needs, the need for security, for safety, to have a shelter.
Yes. So I can't stop playing recording because remember me saying needs for security, needs for expressing oneself. Because if you're not able to express yourself, right, you can cause inner stress within oneself to free up yourself. See? So, hope people are taking notes. And so, yes, Supreme, you wanted to add anything what we said?
Yes,
go ahead.
yes. Greetings. Greetings. We say greetings to the blessradio.org listeners on this Thursday evening. It's very interesting that the audio clip you played was talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'll touch on that. And as you know, there's a theory that he came up with. Do you know that theory?
No, and I've always, it's funny if you said this because I've always heard about Maslow's
hierarchy.
Yeah, but I don't know much about it. It's only when I listen to this particular program on health.
Yeah.
Right, that he talked about it, and I was quite impressed what he was saying. Very impressed with what he was saying. And then I was speaking to Sister Amani, and she was breaking down everything about Maslow's. What's his name? Maslow's
hierarchy of needs. And theory and psychology.
Because she broke all that stuff down to me, and so it's quite interesting that you're quite familiar with.
Well, look, I actually studied it for a little while, and it's
seriously,
yeah.
Okay,
because I'm glad you've got the two young ladies coming in, because psychology is very interesting, and where I've kind of learnt the psychology of Maslow's hierarchy is in management, and actually it's about applying the needs to what, the speaker was applying it to health, but people apply those hierarchy needs to business. It could be hierarchy to politics. You get what I mean? So the basic principle is, if you think of a pyramid, and at the bottom of the pyramid, you've got 5-6 layers, but at the bottom, he just touched on the psychological needs that we need, and those needs are basically like sex, love, food. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But there was a question that before I stray that I wanted to ask. Jammers. I don't know if you can hear me.
Spring, use this mic here, please.
Yeah.
Just come through and use that mic.
Yeah. The question that I wanted to ask Jammers. Jammers said something that was quite interesting, right? Very, very interesting, and I picked up on it straight away. And he said, if there's such a word. You said something and said, if there's such a word. And what came to my mind as you said that is, you have to be the person to make that word and bring it in the universe and bring it in the dictionary and take ownership to it. Because if, for so long, like we talked about that theory, and what is a theory? Is it a hypothesis? It's something that somebody makes up. They bring it, people use it, and then it becomes used. Now, I just wanted to ask you a question on a person who's doing etymology. How do you go about getting a word in the dictionary or being recognized? Because when it comes to fads and fashion, we see slang words coming in. But when you said if there's that actual word, because if you actually thought of it and put it in, then you can actually put that power to that word.
It's true. It's true. Very true. That's very good.
Once something becomes common, then they're forced to put it in their dictionary. All words are just triggers. Every word is a code. Even the local barber shop have got a code. Yeah, wait, I say. If you don't know that code of talk, then you're left out of the equation. So,
Gentlemen, say that again. That's very powerful. Every word is a code.
It's a code. It's basically a code that people talk amongst each other. You know, your local barber shop's got a code. Yeah, I say cool it. If you don't know the code, even yeah, what you say? You what, mate? You see, so I
want everybody to listen to what his brother Gemma said. We must say to you that he's become known as the top world scientist in the top world. Yeah, they've declared as one of the top scientists in the world when it comes to all thing about words. And when the man said I bring wisdom, every word is a code. And everybody talk about that. And Supreme, that's a very good question you ask about, about the word and as it get involved in the dictionary and so forth. But I just wanted to put a pin there because put a pin there. Just wanted to focus more because I never anybody mentioned that, and people need to value what you just said there. But continue the reasoning, my brother.
So if I say we're living in a situation, you already know that's the church. So basically, it's a code of consciousness. It's a trigger. It acts as a trigger. Or someone will say, especially like the latest records, they come out with some new word or whatever, and it activates a consciousness. So basically, what it is, a word is a trigger of consciousness. You have a new product, will come out with a brand new word, and you put enough energy behind it, then it's going to activate the energy in somebody else. So people know this is a way that you can activate a behavior. You hear the word love.
Yeah.
How do you feel in it?
I agreed with. Have you heard of a word called mind-nopoly? Mind-nopoly.
No, but basically, if you say mind-nopoly, mind is the mind, and it's monopoly is something. It's like a play on your mind.
Yeah,
that's basically what it can be. But yeah, as I said, you can make any words be whatever you want it to be. That's the science of semiotics. Semiotics is the study of the meaning of words, and basically, you have the power to create. You have the power to come out of the programs of word. Once you understand a word is a program, and everybody's operating off just a program of words in their body. You can step out. The basic thing, what you need to do is stop understanding words. That means stop standing under words.
Yeah.
And that will free you from the program.
So we mean stop understanding words. And in fact, you just qualified as saying that you'll be standing under the program. That's what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, 'cause every word's can affect your mind,
All right.
So, like if you go to France and someone's cussing you in French, have no effect on you. Yeah. They can cuss you to the blue moon. You don't have no understanding. You're not standing under the sound of the French cussing. Billy Fonse, I fully it has got no effect on you. You see, so we've got to start to step out of this program. It's just, the words is just a way of controlling your behavior. If someone says shy, then all of a sudden because they've given you a noun, so you got to stop full under the spell of a noun. They haven't give you no instructions how to get out of that word shy. When someone says you're shy, they're not helping you because they've given you a noun. That's just something that you call. So they're not saying that you need to breathe and practice before you go in front of an audience. So you've got to be aware of people giving you a noun to, because there's no science. That's what I said. We've got to become scientific beings. So when we hear a word, we have to find, is there any science in that word? If there's no science in the word that somebody gives you, stop understanding the words. Stop. So
when you say no science, gives an example. What do you mean by that?
Right. Well, verbs come in nouns, which is what you call something. Like in the word announce, pronounce. Noun, a noun is something that you call something. So, as I said, alcoholic. That's just something that you call someone. A verb is something with an action in it. You drink too much or stop drinking. There's a solution to the problem in it. Jump, run, sit. So any word that's a verb, reverb is a vibration. It's got a vibration, and you can use that vibration to do something with. So any word that's a verb is an action. You can perform the structure or improvement. Stop drinking or drink less. But when you say a noun, you're an alcoholic, you're a fool, you're an idiot. There's no scientific way that you can use that word to better yourself. So we've got to stop taking these words like shy, idiot, fool into our system, because there's no scientific basis based on that word that you can do anything with.
I see what you're saying. I'm following what you're saying. I follow what you're saying. That's quite powerful. And as I said, that we're lucky to have the world's Will Smith. As I said, the number. In fact, it's a fact that if we go on YouTube and type in the Speakers Club, they're the top comes up top name, right? And also Jammers is known around the world as a scientist when it comes to the thing about words. This is something he's been studying since for the last 5-6 years now. Jammers, you've been studying this thing now, isn't it?
It's longer than that.
Longer than that. No, but been consistently. I mean, I didn't know that. How long have you been studying words then?
Maybe about 7 years now, I think.
About 7
It's
years.
probably
So
expanded now.
oh, yeah, about 7 years he's been consistently studying this thing. Yeah.
Can I ask Jammers a question? Do you think that some or the ancients and the ancestors are channeling through you with this knowledge of words?
Well, the thing is, we work off DNA. DNA is the energy that from the past that we have now. We created from our parents, so we created through beings that were before us. So the energy that they had before we came in is in us now, and the energy that created them is in them, what created us. So basically, everything revolves. Re means to go back. Everything turns back to the origin. So basically, in answer your question, 100%.
But it's interesting because the way I look at certain the way I look at we as people, you get people that study words. Say they study, they go and they further their education, but you can go and talk to someone and say a word and they understand it or they know it and they feel it. And that's very interesting because you say, how did you know that? I don't know. They might just say, I just know it. But
that's the power. We work off the see, the difference between us and the Western man is we work off the unknown. You see, notice when we create something, it comes from nowhere. Like the music, man will just come out with a certain move. But the Western man has to calculate, draw the picture, study that move, get the training. But that's the essence of having Menelin. We absorb. Absorb is when you take something from nowhere. You know, you can take the energy from sun, but when you reflect, that means you've got to get the vibration, or you've got to copy the vibration. So basically, yeah, we've got as I said, we've got the power to do the unknown. And what's happened with me is because I start to look at words right to left and left to right. And I was talking to an electrician the other day, and basically what's happening, you're causing an alternating current. So I'm starting to see things forwards and backwards, where most people are just looking at things from right to left. My brain is now vibrating both ways. So every time I see a word now, and if you look at the ancient hieroglyphs, they were written forwards and backwards. So you're starting to activate your cells now by moving and they say your right side and your left side of the mind. So now I'm actually using both sides, because a lot of things, what happen with the words is it's coming from nowhere. My brain now is starting to work it out. I'm not looking at no books, you know, and I'm working things out that haven't been worked out before, you know, and this is the power that we've got, you know, when we tap into the unknown, you know.
Okay then, so, you know, Jeremy's talking about the whole thing about words. What I'm gonna play a little bit of recording of Ross McCoy talking about wholeness, the whole thing about consciousness and wholeness, see, and it kind of ties into what Jeremy's talking about.
Yes, you know, so this morning, me in my bathroom, and me had my chanting, and the vibes come to me, and would I like to exercise it. So, I gotta say, good vibes. Yeah, I gotta say good vibes, brother man, and I want the man them to say good vibes. And then the woman them, when we say good vibes, sisters wanna say good vibes. So like, good vibes, brother man.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, sisters.
Good vibes.
Alright, now, we want you to take it from just underneath your navel, yeah? And bring it out. And bring the whole feeling and everything. So we say, good vibes, brother man.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, sisters.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, brother man.
Good vibes.
Bring it out. Good vibes, sisters.
Good vibes.
I want you to feel it, you know. I don't want you just say it, I want you to feel it. Good vibes, brother man.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, sisters.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, everyone.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, I and I.
Good vibes.
Alright, now, why you feel good within yourself, you know, because if you don't feel good within yourself, the sickness how we are talking about, now go left. You understand? It just now go left. So we really have to have the right state of mind. So today
Before I tell you what I talk about. In a Jamaica, I have a barber shop where I go to because my friend them there and play draft and them thing there. And one virgin here I talk and him say, who you naughty? And I say, I am I. And him say, nah man, how you? And I say, I'm I. And him say, oh yeah, go on so. No I know who you. I say, you don't want I to be something different to I. And him say, sure, how you deal with man? I say, why you want I to be, you want the I want I to be. So, it's all about the I and I. So today we are going to talk about wholeness or oneness. Yeah? So everything is one. Earlier we hear Basco did that remind me about the water where I'm talking about. We are all make up of water. We all make up a vibration. Yeah? We all make up a consciousness. As we is one. You think that Joe? One of the biggest business in a medicine today are body parts. Yeah, them call it organ harvesting. I that them call it. No, the body part business is booming. All 400,000 you can get a heart for if you're not the money. But the reason why organ harvesting exists is because it can go inside how we once it can be adapted within your system. So if you have the right kind of genes and genetic thing there, it can come within you and your body accept it. This couldn't happen if we weren't one. You understand? So this oneness that we talk about. Now, a mother can there in Africa and her child get licked down over here in England and she feel it. Why? Because of the oneness. Because everything operates on a count.
Okay, then we listen to the great man Ross McCoy talking about the whole thing about wholeness and kind of ties into what Jammers was reasonable about earlier on, that we need to see ourselves as one, as wholeness, and connect back into nature. Because nature, God has never made a mistake. See, Jammers, I know, see you soon have to ride out very soon. You have a red limousine. Last week had a blues limousine, and this week's got a red limousine. I had a peep earlier on.
The driver's just knocked the door.
And the driver just knocked the door as well. So he's got a very impressive appointment he's got to go to. Yes, Jammers.
Yeah, I'd just like to say once again, don't stop understanding words, stop standing under the word. The word is just a trigger for consciousness. Someone's giving you a word and they're giving you their behavior associated with that word. So every time you hear a word, you're actually moving in a certain way because you've been given this program to follow. So the key to the fact is that you have the ability to be the creator and the created, and the energy that creates. This is the real science of the 3 into 1 that they try to analyze and misinterpret in the Bible. You are the daughter, you are the mother and the daughter, and the energy that created the daughter. This is the science of the hieroglyph. Your higher science, based on the vulture, which actually perpetuates life when it takes in the food before it oxidizes. You know, oxygen is your ability to pull in strength from the atmosphere, because the represents strength. Gen is the Greek word for produce. So when you say the word oxygen, the science behind the word oxygen is that you can produce just strength. So every time you breathe in from the air, you are producing strength. Now you stimulate whatever strength that you bring in through the power of your mind. So if you're thinking about a negative thought now and you breathe in, the strength that you're going to use is going to create a negative thought process. So basically, as I said, you've got a billion neurons that communicate in this energy. So if you breathe in and think a powerful thought, that's going into your whole structure, you're going to start feeling powerful. So there's a science behind how you can self-create your own reality. So you breathe in, think a powerful thought, do something that's powerful, and then you're going to start to feel powerful because your neuron is creating power by the air that you're bringing in. Now that air is going to go into your into your lungs. It's going to ventilate into your lung. Your lung is going to maybe give you the ability to lunge. Lunge is going to give you the ability of momentum. Mo is motion, ment is your mind, tum goes into your tummy, what's stored into your tum. Look at the last 4 letters of the word. Tum, you see, machine, your machinery, and mechanics is really voltage plus force. I mean force plus motion. So you have the power to bring in, just through bringing in air and having a thought process, to bring in power just by the process of thought. And then that's your ventilation process, and via your ventilation program, you cause an event. Event is caused by your ventilation process. You the power. Once again, do not stop understanding words or standing under words. You can take one word and create a reality by yourself. Be the creator and the created. Thank you. Boom.
Wow. Okay then, so that's Jammers. Come with some serious power. And as you know, Jammers is a very powerful individual. All right, then, we'll play a bit more on the corner of Ras McCoy.
Refuse to stand up to the piano. But one thing we like about black people, we ain't robots. This is why them can't control us so easy. We ain't robots. You understand? So them can't go to China and them get them to build bridge and all sort of things all around the world. Because they work all 24 hours a day. And no argument about it. We have some argument about it, because we're never there for that. We're never there for that. And we are one of the few people on the planet who know so we're never there for that. You understand? We are one of the few people on the planet who know so we never come here for slave. And yet we end up in a slavery. You understand? We come here to live life. And our natural state of being is peace and happiness. Yeah? But them don't want us to be peaceful, and them don't want us to be happy. Sure. Guess why? I see the massacres around the world. People who enjoy watching people suffer. At them around the world. We used to drive down the road, and when we drive down the road, we drive down the road easily, then block off the road. You drive around and then block off the road. Then bump up the road, so you boom, 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 boom. You understand? That them are the two, you know. Everywhere you go, them are put an obstacle in your way. So all that I got impact on your health. Right? Psychologically, you get tortured. Physically, the chemical them in your body start do what them not to do. You understand? Yeah. So I saw them have way. But it don't have to. Yeah, it don't have to be that way. Because them say mind over matter. But you don't have to have mind over matter. Because guess what? If you don't mind, it don't matter. Yeah. So if you don't mind about it, so you can let you feel pain, you know, and as long as you do something enjoyable, you forget about the pain. Yeah. Now, a couple of weeks back, we hear some people say, people afraid to hear about past state issues and them afraid to come. Well, it's not everybody want to know. I must respect that. Because not everyone can face certain realities. Some people, if you tell them say they have prostate cancer, you shorten them life. So it's best not to tell them people that. Others now will see it as a challenge, like some of the people them who they come talk. And that's beautiful. If you know, say, you find yourself with a problem, and you don't see it as no problem no more, you see it as a challenge. So it's a mindset. Once you see it as a problem, you have make the wrong approach. You have to see it as a challenge, something that you can conquer and something that you can overcome. You can actually get a good result and stand on high ground. So, everyone can become conscious. Everyone can raise their vibration. But in order to raise the vibration and get good health, you have to obey 4 rules. You have to make sure, say, your body not toxic. You have to make sure, say, you get the right nourishment. You have to make sure, say, you get the right amount of exercise. And you have to make sure, say, you get the right amount of rest. Yeah, I would have loved for going at it longer, but true, dougie said the time limited. But certain things you must understand now, say, how you approach what you do also make a difference. So for example, you can't have 8 hours of sleep like some people talk about. But in the sleep, them don't get no rest. So it's not really about sleep, it's about rest. That's why I never say sleep, I say rest. Because even listening to me, you can be resting. You understand? So it's about relaxation. It's about letting go. Because we love grip, we love hang on to too much things. We have excessive desires. And then them are bombarded for have more excessive desires with them so-called advertising campaign and all these things to buy things that you don't want. And for buy things we are going to mash you up too. Yeah. And then you go around boast, I have this and I have that. I have 10 houses. 10 houses are more problem. 10 car are more problem. You understand? But people happy with the problem till them find out so them sick. And the car can't help them. The whole heap of money in the bank account can't help them. It's only them can help themselves by healing themselves. So, within the restful state now, even you have to know, say, sometimes you have to be still, like Vasco did that talk about meditation.
Yes. So he's in the war, and his name is
Alan Wilmot.
Alan Wilmot. You know, and I've been hearing a lot about him. You know, do you know that he was in a group? You know.
A group?
Yeah, he was in a well-known group in the early days. You know. Yeah, well known. He weren't there done the presentation, but he talked about his brother with them, and he was in a group. Well known, right? Yeah, and in fact, I didn't know this. That no, I did know this, but I'm gonna take this even more serious now, right? That Arthur made a presentation, and he talked about this brother. He was one who was behind the Beatles. I forget his name. I wrote it down. Was you there when he spoke about that?
No, because I.
No, he was in there now, right? I don't know if Naomi or Natalie was there, right? The brother was he there, Supreme, when? I didn't hear that. Yeah, and I heard the name before, but I've written it down. I'm gonna do some research. But he's the one who's really pathed the career for the Beatles. See? Yeah. So I can't remember. I've written the name down, but I'm locate his name. So I'm gonna do some research into that. Okay then. So what's gonna happen very shortly? I know Practical Cloud is gonna be phoning in. Auntie Jean, it's good to see you among us.
Great risings, everyone. And as you've already heard, 2 of my guests is Naomi and Natalie, both who did brilliant presentations at the Auntie Jean's African Culture Market, which was Sunday gone at the Chestnuts Community Centre. We're going to be hearing a little bit more, and also I'd like to let you know that Sunday the 16th of December, we will have both Natalie and Naomi, and also a sister called Seven is going to be doing presentations at the Loughborough Centre in Brixton. And that's going to be this Sunday, the 16th of December. So that is one to look out. Yeah, one to look out for.
Okay. So also we have the original Supreme. Supreme, you was at the event Sunday gone. Supreme, where you get vexed when we said to you, we can't take no question from you, and you like say you want bring argument like you want to fight. I'm gonna put your leg, you know.
Want to?
I know you wanted to ask a burning question. Seriously. But how do you find the event went Sunday, Supreme?
Check one. I did.
Supreme, how do you find
I'm trying to remember the actual question that I was asking. And the question that I was asking was to, sorry to stray from the initial topic, was to do with vaccinations. Right.
Oh,
and we were talking about yellow fever, and I was talking about malaria, because a lot of us are talking about we want to go back to Africa. And I said, well, I took a trip to Africa, Gambia, and because of all the things I've heard in our community, I didn't take a vaccination. But I got to admit, when I got to Gambia, I was frightened because one of the issues that I found is that coming from England, it just seems like the Gambian mosquitoes were just, after a couple of weeks, I was getting all the bite marks all down my arm, and I was actually thinking, should I have taken something? And one of the things that I was trying to put to the speaker roots doctor, is there a natural herbal remedy that we can use, or that should be put out into the community, that if you're going to Africa, that there is a herbal package that you can take instead of people paying the £90 or the £70 for this inoculation, when we know that these injections and vaccinations have side effects?
There is. Galactic Clyde has got, you know, because he's a herbalist as well as an astrologist and everything else. And he's got the herbs. I don't know the names of the herbs, but actually you can ask him when he calls in. And because he was offering to give that to Sister Shanice when she did her trip to Zimbabwe a couple of weeks ago. So yes, he's got the concoction of the natural herbs that you can take. So you don't have to take the vaccinations.
That's a very good question. And Galactic Clyde's got, boy, Galactic Clyde is somebody else in it, something else. He seems to have everything. I don't know what he hasn't got about him. But anyway, when he come in, he will qualify that question there. You know what I mean? Supreme, you know? Because we don't want no miss loose ends when we are talking on them program here, see? And so forth. So we are waiting for Galactic Clyde to phone in. So he'll be reading with us very shortly, and he'll be tying to the whole thing what took place Sunday.
Yeah. So in the meantime, we can be talking to Sister Natalie, because Natalie cannot be here for the duration.
Unfortunately, I have to leave early today.
Yeah. So I didn't quite catch the beginning. So if you can let the people know who you are, and know that, and let them know that you have written a book.
Yeah, I was on shortly before explaining that I've written a book called Remote Control. It's available on Amazon, and it's to do with, it covers the whole topic of organised stalking, electronic harassment, and sort of government-sponsored terrorism, social engineering program that's happening in communities worldwide now.
So it's not just, as you said, it's not just you. There is, it does happen with other people. Have you met other people who's had similar experiences of being stalked, being watched, being monitored, tracked, traced?
Yeah, I mean, after having written the book, I've done a couple of seminars and spoken on a few different radio stations, and the response has been quite overwhelming, really. There are a lot of women coming forward to explain that they're going through something very similar. Didn't really know where to turn or what it was called, and yeah, it's been very interesting to see how widespread this is becoming now.
Was you actually shocked amount of people who had the similar experience of, you know, when you found out, when they came forward towards you, was you shocked that there was so many people that was experiencing the same thing, or did you think that this is only happening to you when you wrote the book?
When I wrote the book, I had done a lot of research, so I knew it wasn't just me, but I knew a lot of people were probably quite apprehensive to discuss such a sort of sensitive subject matter. And also, I think a lot of people are not really too aware when things start happening. When things start happening, they're not really too aware what it is or what to call it, or if they're sort of part of this program, or, you know, just sort of being hypersensitive. Some of the things initially sound quite menial when you start explaining to other people. You know, you may have seen, you know, a vehicle sort of all over the place wherever you've been, but it's when you see a pattern of events and start putting them together with other things, then you can sort of you know for yourself.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the phone in now.
What made you get to the point from am I going mad to no, there is something actually happening, there is something out there that is, you know, that is causing this. It's not me. Because originally you must have thought, say, oh, I must be going mad, or, you know, I'm seeing things, or I'm hearing things.
Yeah, I did have those thoughts. I mean, it's understandable that what's happening is so sort of evil. You would doubt that people could be quite so wicked, you know, or that there's this sort of big plan to depopulate and control people. Yeah. It's only sort of being objective. I had to do my own research and look into things and find patents for technology and evidence of other people going through something similar, which is how I managed to write the book. You know, I didn't just want to look at things from my perspective. I wanted it to sort of be open and make sure I had all the facts, you know.
So we've got someone on the live call here. Clive, you're there? Clive?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Clive?
What colour are you using? Yellow?
No, yellow, this one. Clive?
Yes, greetings.
Sorry, Clive.
Check one.
Yeah. Go, no, we just trying to connect you. And we were speaking with Natalie. And you've met Natalie a couple of times, yeah?
Yeah, I met her on, I think, Sunday, yeah?
Sunday, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Okay, then. Now then, I know you had a burning question you want to ask, and turn related to what's happening about the mind control. And there's a book you was talking about, or someone in America was talking about.
Yes.
I wonder if you can bring it in, because it kind of ties into what we're talking about, mind control, yeah?
Yes. Actually, the book I'm talking about is part of the foundation of where all of this thing started. Yeah.
Well, I said
the book,
from where it all started.
It's part of the foundation where all of this started.
All right then. Okay.
All of this mind control started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the book laid out the whole process of how they get this technology, why they started, the reason for it. Yeah. And so it was in the 40s when they actually with the Philadelphia experiment. Yeah. And what they did when they actually was they tried to make a ship invisible. Yeah. So when they turned on the high power electric, the ship became invisible. but they did not factor in the human factor.
Right.
And what happens, a lot of the people that was on the ship, some of them jump overboard and end up in another area, interdimension. They end up in another location on the planet.
Hold on. Let me get this right now. You said that
Greetings, Clyde. Sorry. Greetings, Clyde.
Greetings, Auntie Jean. How are you?
So these people was actually on the ship when they made the ship invisible?
Yes.
Did they tell the people that the ship is going to be invisible?
Yeah, they knew it was going to be invisible. They work out the experiment, they work out all the maths, but they left out the human factor.
Right. So when the humans, they were still visible. Were they?
No, they become invisible.
So could they see around them? So they saw just the sea around them?
Okay, the mathematics on it is that we and the planet are anchored to a certain time stream, yeah?
Right.
And what happens when they make the ship invisible, they take them out of that time stream. So they were out there out of time, in that sense.
Right.
Yeah? So they did not have a time reference for them. And so that's what the book is talking about. So they did not factor in the time reference because they take them out of a time reference, makes them invisible. And so when they switch it back off, some of them became melt between the steel. The human and the steel becomes one. Yeah? A lot of things happen. People jump overboard and end up in other areas.
Right. So,
yeah?
Clyde, where can we get this information from? Because this is something.
I send you some information on it. The book is called Experimenting Mind. They don't have to buy the book. I have a PDF copy of the book. I can send it to you, Dougie, and I can send it to you, Auntie Jean, and sisters. You can read it. I also have it in audio form as well, because we got to get this knowledge and understand what is happening.
Definitely.
But anyway, let me talk more about it. What happens? They set out now to figure out the human factor. Yeah. Because they work out the time factor in terms of making the ship invisible, but they did not figure out the human factor. And this is where the other experiment comes, which is called the Montauk experiment.
All right, Alan, Galactic Clyde, can I ask you a question, please?
Question, yes.
Right. Have you heard of Natalie's book?
Yes, I've heard about it, and I'm dying to get my hand on that because I want to take it apart. So, do you have any in the studio?
Yeah, go on, Natalie. You may speak. Hi.
It's called
the remote control book. Yes.
It's called Remote Control.
Yes. I haven't got my hand on it because prior to talking to Auntie Jean, I never came across any information in this country, because I've been looking around for information in this country where people are actually coming forth with their issue concerning being mind control. Because I've been talking about the book for a while to other people, but I never come across that information until the other day when Auntie Jean was telling me about Natalie's situation. I've seen people, and but nobody has really come forth to talk about their issues, such as Natalie and other friends.
Well,
so I'm just now aware of them.
As far as I'm aware, I am the only person in this country to have written a book. But I believe there are lots of books written worldwide. This is not just a British problem. It's a global thing that's happening, and there are books written in the US. I'm aware of a Chinese lady that's written a book. There are victims of this in Russia, Italy, Belgium. It's a worldwide thing, and it's not just the technology, although the electronic harassment is a large part of this. The main reason why I'm trying to expose this on community radio is because a lot of the community are partaking in the monitoring and surveillance of people, not really realizing the full extent of what they're partaking in, and also the effect on themselves and their families and their children's futures. I don't think people are really looking into it that deeply when they're just doing silly little tasks, for financial gains. They're not really realizing the bigger picture. That's it, and the implications of this on sort of the freedom of all. It's not just about me. This is about everyone. So everyone needs to sit up and take notice.
Yes, I agree with you. It's a worldwide program, and a lot of people are not aware of how it is, how it works, and how it's set up, and who's involved. But it's up on the highest level of society in terms of the operation of what is happening.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know.
That's right. You know, there are a lot of governmental bodies who are aware of what's going on, some who actually sanction these programs. You know, it wouldn't be able to go ahead without sort of medical practitioners and other people being aware. Local councils are aware. It's a big thing that's happening out here, you know. This is like the New World War, only it's silent and the weapons are different.
And Nazi scientists are understanding is involved as well, or were involved in this program. So, and this why Montauk was the prime area, because that was the location that was chosen to look into the human factor in terms of how to solve the problem. And in that way, they develop a lot of the mind control and jack into the brain using the 420 hertz. You heard about the 420 hertz?
Yeah, I'm aware. Most of these weapons are frequency-based weapons. We all work on frequencies anyway, so that's how they target the brain and other areas of the body via frequencies.
Yes. Yes, and what about the Large Hadron Collider? I think that is very much involved. This is the European aspect of the Montauk.
And there are also a lot of satellite-based weaponry that's used to sort of track and trace individuals and sort of lock on to their signals to use these frequencies.
Yeah, because after they perfected it, they've gone to satellite level. Yes, yes. But this thing, it does not, is not, it's not perfect. Because if it was perfect, then, you know, we wouldn't have the likes of yourself and other people who are coming forth. It's not perfect. And this is why we're saying, we're telling people really to raise their frequency in terms of their, you know, the things that they eat, be aware of some of the low energy food that have been out there to program or reprogram us. Because this is how also they maintain that control, because our body would naturally clear up anything that is foreign to it that they're using in our body in terms of the nanotechnologies.
Not
the body would consider
necessarily
foreign if we're taking the right things to get rid of it.
I mean, diet does play a huge part, but nowadays the technology is perfected to the point where it can replicate sort of tissues in the body, so it's not always necessary that the body will recognize it as foreign. Yeah. You know, the technology is that advanced.
Wow.
Okay, and I hear you on that. But remember, we also have our divine computer. And this is why we can have the likes of you, because what happens, I think that the people who are come forth in this are people who are on a level, you know, on a certain level that they can pick up the energy and understand the signal. Some people are going through this, but they don't know what they're going through.
Yeah, that's true.
And it goes back to when we talk about leadership, especially in the black community, we have to realize now, based on the technology that's out there, that a lot of those people that we consider in leadership are being controlled. They've been led.
That's right. And it has been that way for some time because the technology's been around for a long time.
Yeah, because the person that wrote the book, Preston Nichol, he said he was investigating a certain, what they call telepathic wave. That's how he got into it. He was investigating a telepathic wave that actually every day at a certain time, psychic signals become jammed, where people they're not able to operate psychically. And so he decided to test the signal or to find out where the signal is coming from. And when he put it, the testing stuff on the top of his car, and he started traveling to monitor where the signal is coming from, it lead him right to Montauk.
Right.
And then he realized this is an army base that is not in operation. How come he's sending out this signal?
Well,
but he didn't realize that he worked on the program.
Most of the technology is initially patented by military for military operations, and then they use it on civilian populations. So most of the technology comes from the military in the first place.
So, but Captain Clive, I just want to ask a question here.
Yes, go ahead.
I know, and also we do have some other people in here probably want to ask a question as well, right? But in terms of based on what's been said and what we know at this point here, right?
Yes.
And the question would be, what can we do? I mean, there are devices we can use to protect ourselves, and I just want to look at in terms of way forward in terms of what we should be doing as individuals and collectively as well.
Yeah, well, there's lots of things that we have to look at in terms of what we can do. One of the things I'm looking forward to meet up with the sisters and look at different things that work, because there's many things that work. Their thought forms are very important. Our thought forms, because a lot of it is also work on our thoughts. Because sometimes we get different thoughts that comes to us. We have to dismiss certain things, especially when it comes on to negative thought.
Right.
Right. That's why morality plays a very important role for those people who want to survive the matrix. Because one of the things that they're going to give you thought forms that are considered immorals, things that they want you to do that is against morality in terms of consciousness and how we have to live and do unto others as we do for ourselves. So they will use people to commit crimes and things like that. So people have to be aware of these negative thought forms and replace it with positive thought forms. That's one of the highest things that they can do physically on a spiritual level. Thought forms, replace them. No, I don't accept this. I don't want to do this, and you know what I mean. And and so also have certain things that they could use to replace it, like when you have like certain quotations. That they can rely on,
Clyde? Clyde?
Hello?
We're
Yes,
just
go
going to
ahead.
bring in Naomi.
Yes.
And ask Naomi for your thoughts on what has been said so far.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Clive, how are you?
Clive, can you hear her?
Yes, I can hear a little bit.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, greetings.
Speak up a little bit.
Yeah, I think all what you said is very positive. I think if I go back to just one or two things that like in terms of food and diet, I think that's very important. Keeping it conscious and what that really means. So our diet is quite important, but when we talk about things such as this frequency and this sound and the targeting and the implants, these are things that I think need a lot more work than just diet, because they're actually in the body, and the capacities or the capabilities of this technology is far greater than our dietary supplements. So it takes that level of awareness to first educate yourself, to be aware of it, and then to see what can be done in line with eating healthier, in maybe taking things like sugar night. Is it sugar night? My pronunciation.
Shungite. Yes, I was going to get to that. Yes, shungite crystal, different crystals.
We touched on that on Sunday, but it's very good. I mean, even putting it in the water around the house, and some people take black activated charcoal. I know that's very powerful in cleansing the system from metal deposits. Silver is good as well. DMSO is good as well. But all these, we live in a society where you've been bombarded by chemtrails, by a lot of pollution in what we eat, from what we breathe. So I think all these things that we could take, copper is also good. But when we talk about implants and we talk about sonic sound frequencies, these are weaponry used and patented and designed to kill and to target people. So, but certainly those supplements help to kind of make us stronger, to make us to keep battling on. That's
Yeah. Well, I'm into sacred geometry. And I think the geometry, because I have somebody that I work with, I wouldn't name the person now or talk much about it except for things that I've used. The copper pyramid, solid copper pyramid, very good because I've had good testimony back from the person that had these issues. The rue, it's a bitter herb, is very good, or any bitter herb, because they're also used in certain spirits as well. That's another thing that people have to understand as well. It's not just technology, it's also certain negative spirits as well that they link with.
Yes, certain negative entities. I agree with you on that, and rue is a very powerful herb. There's many that you can take.
You know about the herb too? You know about the herb, Naomi?
I know about rue. Yes, rue is very good in house cleansing, in spiritual cleansing, in burning, in taking it in a bath as well.
Yes.
The old first folks, RUE, used to put it in a sort of pillow and run it under the bath or the hot water, so that it made a sort of infusion in the bath water. Some people, you can drink it as a tea, really. It's very cleansing. And the old folks used to use it and still do to cleanse negative entities from a person, a place, a ground, and an area. So too sage, as we all know. So rue is very important. Mugwort is also important. Mugwort under your pillow helps you sleep well. It's also protect things that we have in our kitchen.
Can I add to that?
Well, we probably are digressing.
Plentiful in England.
Sorry?
The mugwort grows plentiful around England. They're all in London. I pick mugwort all the time.
Yes, mugwort. Some people smoke mugwort, but anyway, each their own. But what I'm saying is these old remedies are very powerful. But I will still say this: we're talking about two different things when it comes to one, technology, covert surveillance, and technology that's capable of mind control and behavior modification. But I also and equally agree with you that by use of these herbs, we are able to, find some semblance, some balance. Because obviously, if you're eating well, if you're drinking well, and if you're nurturing yourself, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you're in a far better position to fight this technology, and you will need that.
Yes.
Well,
can I add something else? Go ahead.
Sorry, Clive, because
go ahead.
we're expecting a call from Sevens in about 5-10 minutes, right? But I know that Supreme has a question we want to ask you, because he want to beat me up Sunday because he wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
Right? So I don't mean to follow, because even in comedy he look kind of vexed with me still from saying I take things personal. So Supreme, ask the question.
Give him the answer before the question. He wants me to give him the answer before the question.
Well, I'm just going to stray a bit, because at the beginning of the conversation you spoke about this cloaking device on the ship, but we have seen a lot of things, and we may take for granted in films. Star Trek does it.
But they show us what they do.
They show us in a entertainment way, and this is but I've taken these things as entertainment. But now when I hear Natalie speak and Naomi, you kind of think, well, hold on, something's going on here, and that's where when he spoke about that, I thought the first thing I thought about is, remember this program Time Tunnel, where the person couldn't get back, they were quantum physics, and we're talking about the X-Files and all these programs, right? But there was one program that came out early last year, and this film is very, very interesting, and I thought it was quite scary at the same time, and it was to do with the mind control. I don't know if anybody watched this film called Get Out.
Oh yeah.
And Get Out was very interesting, where they used the mind control to organ harvest. That's what they were doing, and they were picking on
harvesting as well.
So there's a lot of, even though it's been put in films and as entertainment, there's an actual I don't know if anyone's heard of the King Alfred plan.
King Alpha, yes.
The King Alfred plan.
Yeah.
when the
Yes,
CIA
yes.
set
King
up,
Alpha, yes.
the CIA set up a. Can you explain it? It's the CIA set up this plan to.
Just because of time,
Yeah.
technical from 7 still. But you
Yeah.
still don't ask you don't want to ask Clark what do you think about the herbs?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't think it fitted in with what you're talking about.
Yeah, I heard the statement before. That's why I said I could answer. You're talking about the herb for malaria, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that's what you're asking. Yes, I've got a list of stuff that I write up in connection to malaria. That malaria is not a problem if you know these different herbs that is taken in different parts of Africa. What they don't tell us that they have the herbs. They know the herbs to take, you know. But if you get bitten by the malaria or mosquito, yes, you got the malaria energy in your head, and they can't really get rid of it. They only could always put it into remission, you know. You know, when we came to the Western world, we lost this connection with that herb. So a lot of people end up with sickle cell and all of these issues that comes from that. But they know what to take to when it flare up in their body, you know. And so I could list a couple of the herbs if you want me to.
If you can do it quickly.
Okay, there's one they call scented leaf. Scented leaf, right now they're having a problem allowing a lot of the Nigerian to bring it in, because they're actually making pills out of it now, because it's such a good herb for preservative and good for different things for the body. And you also got bitter leaf as well. You can get that in a lot of the continental African shops. You know, the bitter leaf is very bitter, but it's also, you know, deals with the mosquito and the different cycles of the mosquito in the body.
Okay.
You know? And just to name a few. There's lots more.
Okay.
Okay then. Captain Clive, we need to put a pin in there because
Yes, I understand.
You know Sevens, she's going to...
No, not yet. I'm going to listen for her, but I don't know her yet.
Oh, right. She's going to phone in and talk about her journey, and kind of ties into what's happening as well, yeah? So,
yes,
Clive, give thanks for your powerful contribution, yeah?
Yes. And just another part, there's the spirits as well. There's the good spirits as well. So we have to understand we're being helped in many ways, yeah?
Okay.
That's the most important thing. I'll leave you with that, yeah?
Give thanks, man.
Great.
Man. Okay. All right, then.
Yeah, great. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Okay, then. So expecting a call from Sevens in a very, very short, and she's burning to come upon us. So, Sevens, if you're listening, please come in.
The incentive to love just you. Collective thoughts, images and views brings me to the fact that I love you for true. What a depth of intricate beauty I see. That delectable style, so raging to me. My conscious thoughts of an aura so sweet, a delightful appearance and a bond. I got 1,000 more reasons to love you. A million more reasons to care. I got 1,000 more reasons to love you. A million more reasons to care. With a million words to express a smile, so healthy, so vibrant, inexhaustible style. Intended to know, and that we were meant, fascinated by reality and innocent, to abide forever. My dreams delight, having you beside me, night after night, combined with health, and you always there. My day's resolution, my everyday prayer. I got 1,000 more reasons to love you, a million more reasons to care. I got 1,000 more 1,000 more reasons to love you. A million more reasons to care. I've got 1,000.
Greetings. Greetings.
Hi, greetings.
Greetings, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you doing?
I'm very good, very good. Thank you for inviting me to chat with you, reason with you today.
That's brilliant. Could you speak up a little bit? 'Cause you're coming over very low.
Oh, is it very quiet?
Yeah, you're coming over very low.
All right, let me see if I can turn the volume up. Wait a minute.
Okay.
The volume, I'm going to put it on speaker. Does that make it better?
It sounds a bit better, yeah.
Well, you might just speak just a little bit louder, yeah, because he's coming across very. Right. So, Seventh, how you? First thing, pick up your status every single time. Seventh, I haven't heard from you for a little while.
Okay.
This is Brother Dougie.
This is Brother Dougie speaking. I was going to say.
Brother Dougie speaking to you. You know?
Oh, things, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, well, give time. I'm always asking for you. You know.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, always asking for you.
Thank you.
And also we do have, you know Supreme, innit?
Sorry?
You know my brethren Supreme. He wants to give me some trouble when I'm ready.
Yes.
You know, and I don't know if you know Natalie and Naomi. Have you met them?
I've only met Natalie, but I haven't met Naomi. But I do know about her story.
All right. Well, you know, so they're in the house as well, so they probably want to share some information as well. You know, so we have some power hosts inside the house, and obviously we have Auntie Jean, and we have Bless Radio. So, Seventh, we'll go straight to the chase because we don't have much time to really play a ball. Right?
Okay.
Share your journey with us and can't stop what's been happening with you.
Okay. Well, love to all the family listening. Yourself, Dougie, and Supreme, and RTG. Much love to you all. And all the targeted individuals out there. You know, it's a phenomenon that has been creeping across the British nation for quite some time now.
Yeah.
But we've got to the point where there are so many of us. The testimonies are, you know, they're just astounding. You know, you only have to type in targeted individuals in YouTube to see how many people, particularly of our community, are being targeted in pretty much the same way.
Right.
Now, I will say this, that each and every case is different in as much as the reasons why people are being targeted. Some people are being targeted to be experimented upon. Some people, like myself, I took a case against a large number of corporations and won, and that's how I became targeted. And I will share that with you in a minute, but I just want to give a little bit of the landscape for people to understand and overstand that this is a situation that affects everybody in one way or another. And the reason why I say that is because we have the individuals being targeted, but we also have people being targeted in groups. And, you know, if we look at Grenfell Tower, that was a situation of targeting as well.
Yeah.
But again, that's in a situation where it's a group. So when people feel that this is an issue that doesn't affect them, you have no idea, because it could affect you at any possible time. And we're at a time now where the rain is lifting. You know, we are able to see the crimes that are being perpetrated against us like never before, because some of the people that are targeted are in fact from some of these organizations that have become whistleblowers. And so in bringing out the truth, they find themselves targeted as well. And I will, when I get an opportunity, perhaps after the show, I'll send you a link of a man who was in the military, a brother who was in the military, and he came to live in Sheffield in England. He was in America previously, and he became targeted, and he knows quite a lot about the program from an inside point of view. And so his testimony is paramount for people to understand the magnitude and also how serious it is, and the reason why we have to bring this to the spotlight like you're doing today. So I'm really grateful for that.
But Seven, sorry to be rude, just jumping, but it's interesting because it seems like everything's come back to the military, to the army. You know?
Yeah.
Because we was talking about this earlier on, and Cathy Clyde, I think it was Cathy Clyde or Naomi, mentioned about the military and the army, and etc. So it seems everything's come back to the military and the army, and yeah, I just want to bring that to the forefront. Yeah, but continue.
I mean, I think this brother's testimony sheds a lot of light on the program itself, because what we have now, we have people, as I said, who are insiders, who have witnessed it firsthand, who have been part of the program, who have seen the program and been subjected to the targeting themselves. So that's a very different perspective than the lay people like myself and individuals who run up against these organizations and individuals inside these corrupt organizations, and they abuse their powers. You know, when I became targeted 15 years ago, I thought it was just me. I had no idea there was such a program that was in existence. I had no idea how the music industry and the entertainment industry were abusing creative people. I had no idea that these things actually took place. So when it transpired to me, I was in shock. You know, I had no clue. Excuse me, I had no clue. I mean, we all know that entertainers and people in the industry get ripped off. We all know that people like Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, and I mean the list is endless. James Brown's son has come forward. I think his name is Darryl Brown.
Right.
He's forward to talk about what happened to his father. Then there's Michael Jackson.
Which father you talking
about? Say that again.
Which father you talking about? Who's that?
James Brown.
Oh, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay then.
James I'm talking in relation
was talking about. Sorry. Nala, just so you're talking about James Brown's son.
Yes, Darryl Brown.
Oh, right.
James' son, and he has come forward. You know, I watched a very interesting, eye-opening interview with him. He got private investigators to find out what happened to his father.
I see what you're saying, no. Yes.
Yeah, and what you see is that it's historical in the entertainment industry. There have been case after case where people get murdered for their copyright in their publishing. You know, and so it's a major issue. And if we look back to what has recently unfolded, the whole Harvey Weinstein scandal, exposing that the casting couch is being used and private security companies are being utilized in order to silence victims. So if we understand that this is the kind of carry-on that has been going on in the industry behind closed doors from time immemorial, then it gives us an understanding of this landscape of what we're dealing with. But the whole targeting program is very vast. It affects all kinds of people. You know, people, as I said, I know people that have been targeted after being in the medical industry and they've been experimenting upon. I know people, what kind of targets? I'm trying to think of some of the different types of targets. So whistleblowers, people that have been witness to a tragedy and they've seen what has happened, those witnesses come forward and find that they're targeted. You know, you have people that make complaints about various corrupt individuals within organizations. They get targeted. People who pursue cases like myself against big, large corporations, we get targeted. If you had a family member die in, you know, unjust circumstances, quite often you find that the family members will find themselves in a targeting situation as well. We saw that with Stephen Lawrence. You know, the family members were maligned, the witnesses, the victims, their lives are put in a living hell. And this is a program that it has its tentacles in all sorts of ways, but essentially it's the same thing. And right now we're talking about in the millions, you know, in the UK alone, in the millions. And most people are isolated because part of the program is designed to isolate people. So it's vast. It really is vast, and it's a situation that has to come to the spotlight in order to deal with it. But what I say is this: is that we are at a point now where the veil has lifted. There are so many testimonies because we don't find mainstream reporting these things because, by and large, quite a lot of the people running these programs are also running the mainstream media.
That's right. That's right.
So this is why the truth doesn't get to the surface. But we are in a position where we can become media and report on these issues as well. So it's a very good channel if anybody wants to learn more about targeting of individuals. If you go to a YouTube channel called Ramola D Reports. Ramola, R-A-M-O-L-A, D, the letter D, Reports. And she basically covers this area, and she covers a wide spectrum. So she's looking at not just the individuals who are being targeted. She's done interviews with people who work in the NSA, GCHQ, who are whistleblowers. And so it's a very educational, and also some of the technologies that are being used, because these are very sophisticated. We're talking about electromagnetic frequencies are being used against people, and it pans out in all sorts of ways. Another thing that's very important, before I talk a little bit, I don't know how much time I've got to talk about.
I was going to say, just sorry to cut you in a bit. We've got Natalie here. She can't be here for very long. Natalie, is there something that you'd like to say to Seven, quickly?
Can you covered it really well.
Can you hear her?
Can you hear
Sorry?
me,
Can you hear? Can you hear Natalie?
You need to speak up, Nat. Natalie, turn the mic up, Natalie.
Is it on? Just a sec. The problem with the mic. You best come over here. This mic is still working.
Hello?
Oh.
Hello.
Can you hear now?
Can you hear Natalie? Natalie, speak, Natalie, please.
Hi, Seven.
Greetings, sister. How are you?
I'm still here, you know, suffering and surviving, still trying to get this out there to the community to let them know what's going on. I think you covered it quite well, and I'd also recommend Ramola's YouTube channel as a good place to go and, you know, research, find out for yourself and hear people's testimonies, as there's so much information on there, and it's global. You've got people on there from all different places in the world, you know. We've got Europe, America, Asia, so yeah, that's a good place to go and look and research for yourself.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because you're on there, I'm on there, and there's a number of people worldwide who have shared first-hand experiences, and you will see that there's a commonality in every single scenario. You'll see that there's commonality. But you see, in UK, I think from listening to expert testimonies from, I can't remember this brother's name, I will put the link in, the brother I mentioned from the military. Now, he was saying that although it's a global phenomena, it stems from the UK. It's being controlled by companies like DARPA, Lockheed Martin, all these... the
Tavistock Institute, yeah. You'll find the majority of the companies that are involved are based in the UK and have global operations, but you know, most of their headquarters are here, which is which should be very worrying indeed for the population of Britain.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, you know, because I've run several campaigns of late. One of the campaigns was a hashtag campaign, which was designed to be, you know, to spell it out exactly like it is. So we were using multiple hashtags, depicting and explaining what has happened to us. For instance, things like no more evil, hashtag stop targeting us, hashtag the UK are silencing genuine victims, you know, and we put out these multiple hashtags, and each hashtag in fact opens a page where you can actually see many people, because whoever uses that hashtag can include a video. So when you open the link on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or wherever the hashtags may be, you will find information about the issue at hand. And the issue at hand really is that we're 7 billion strong. Okay, most of the people that are targeted are, some of them are gifted people, because you find some people, if they've got specific blood types like RH negative, RH positive, those people are targeted. So people are targeted for their bloodline. You get people who are starseeds, indigos, you know, crystal children, etc. They're targeted. You know, the 144,000 who make up God's people, they're targeted.
Yeah, there does generally tend to be, you know, specific character traits, all positive ones that are sought after to extinguish, it would appear to me. Like righteous, decent people, creative people, articulate, intelligent people. I guess the other type of people are more easier to control, which is why they want us out of the picture.
Yes, exactly. I think when we look at the end game, we're looking at a Luciferian satanic construct, which aims to establish that as the dominant force in society, which is why you see so much movies and also music artists tagging up symbolism of Satanism, etc.
It's like what Clyde was saying earlier about encouraging immorality, and this program is just all part of that.
Exactly. Exactly. And so on the upside, if we look at the positive side of it now, most of the targeted people are very gifted. A lot of them are very skilled, highly intelligent, people that have got very high moral values, you know, of wrong and right, you know, and justice and those type of things. And so when you look at the people who are being targeted, we are very skilled people. So we're able to put our skills, if we put our minds together and our heads together, we are able to utilize those skills in order to bring about changes. Because we cannot stay where it is. It's an unacceptable way for anybody to be living, you know. Some of the things that people need to understand in the UK is that housing associations and councils are also on program. So quite a lot of the people are being targeted inside their houses. So in social housing, for instance.
Definitely, that's the case in my experience.
Yes, I find a lot of people are being given access to by their housing associations, by rogue housing associations and rogue individuals within these organizations, such as Genesis and housing and various different housing groups.
Local councils. I'm a Haringey resident, so if you want to put two and two together.
But I wonder if I could just, sorry, sorry, Seven, I just want to see if I could jump in here, because, and the reason why, because I know this has been happening for a few years well. My question would be now, and it might be a bit of a naive question, but I have to ask a question here. Are you getting any support from any kind of media or I mean, I know you get support from, you know, the community radio stations, but I mean, the mainstream media, have they taken up your case and highlight what's been happening? I just want to get a little feel what's happening. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the issue really is that a lot of the people running these targeting operations are the heads of the media, you know, that run the media with Murdoch, for instance. They are controlling the mainstream media on an international basis. So mainstream media are very much in bed with intelligence agencies and private security companies. And so, unfortunately, for us who are targeted, they all know what's being done to us. They all know. They're all complicit. Not all of them. I wouldn't like to say that every single journalist is aware. But what I will say is that the controllers of those mainstream outlets, Hollywood, the entertainment industry, are suppressing the truth, which is why we have to become media ourselves. Now, for myself, I have a lot of support from independent journalists, judges. I work with judges because I won a massive case. I've won potentially one of the largest cases of its kind.
Yeah. I'm aware of that. Yeah.
That puts me in a slightly different ballpark because in my situation, unfortunately, some other people who are targeted, they don't know who it is that's doing it. They can't pinpoint the actual body or the individual. But in my case, it happened pretty much after I was invited to a meeting. And my document was stolen, and my work was chopped up into loads of different productions, shows, etc., and sold all over the world in something like 126 countries. And my work is quite famous now. It's all award-winning. We have things like Dancing with Stars,
Dancing.
You Are What You Eat, 10 Years Younger, Diet Doctors. There's so many shows that came out of my multimedia platform documents that were stolen in 2003. And if anybody remembers, if you think back to 2003 and 2004, although we're talking 15 years ago, you may well remember that there was an influx of all shows that were dealing with health, fitness, dance. They all came off the back of my stolen documents. And with this whole operation, where all the networks have a piece, we're talking about BBC, ITV, Endemol, Channel 4, ABC, all these different networks around the world, all were sold a piece of my work. So that they will find is that the bosses will not want to publicize because they're not going to expose themselves. So there's a huge suppression on, number one, that the case was even won. Number two, that the shows are out there belong to me. I am the rightful owner, who they don't want to credit, particularly, I think, because I'm a black woman, I'm a melanated woman. They don't want the show public to know that. But obviously it's my work, so part of my fight against them has been to be recognized for my work because it is award-winning.
But Sevens, just to tie into what you said there, right? That Sophie Stewart, right?
Yes.
Who I know you know very well, and I've interviewed her. I know Supreme has interviewed her as well, right? And again, T-Fear works and so forth, right? And in fact, there was a stage where I really wanted to get her to come over to the UK, but she's just busy, you know. And it's through King Lion I get to link up with her or get to speak with her, right?
Yes.
Now tell me, son, have you spoken to Sophia Stewart in terms of I just want to see if you had a conversation with her, because you know, got been through the similar experience, yeah.
Yes.
I just want to get a little feel if you've spoken to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
You have
a number of times. In fact, I'm trying to get her on my network because I'm trying to launch my own network as well. And yeah, her case was running alongside mine. Hers was in the US, and mine was in the UK. And we were two black women were fighting for the rights of our stolen intellectual property. During my court case, in fact, I was in communication with her as well. And I have been, so I spoke to her probably about a month or maybe a couple months ago, maybe about 6 weeks or so now. But yeah, she's doing very well. She's doing very well. And again, you know, because it's not just about the fact that they're stealing our work, because people have said that even Black Panther movie is stolen. You know, apparently that was on the roots. There's a sort of a media magazine. Apparently somebody said they saw on the roots publication. It's a internet news press outlet, and people were saying that they saw that movie, which was the biggest grossing black movie of all time.
Well, Sophie, have you got any information? Because
7.
I mean, who that just asked?
You said Sophie. 7.
I mean, look, you know, 7. My guy Sophie. 7. You have any information about that? Because so we can do some record. My man Supreme, he put on a big event with the Black Panther the other day. So, have you got any information about that?
Well, I'll have to ask the brother, because he was talking to me. A brother was talking to me about it, because a lot of what we see on mainstream is stolen from us in one way or another. You know, we have what's the name, Monique, Sister Monique, who's fighting against Netflix because of the fact that being paid. You know, and so we as women in the community are being treated like slaves. We're being treated like slaves. They don't believe they have to pay us and for our intellectual property and our written works, which have changed the landscape, because all of the things we're talking about are huge. Some of the grossest, you know, biggest grossing monetary grossing productions of all time. You know, when we talk about The Matrix and we talk about Terminator, that is one of the biggest, you know, franchises ever. That's changed the whole way people perceive the way that we live today. People refer to The Matrix all day of the week, but fortunately they don't refer to the person who created it. You know, the struggle that she's had to go through to be recognized. You know, and like I said, somebody also came forward and said that the Black Panther movie was stolen, and I said it wouldn't surprise me. It would surprise me, because, you know, in quite a lot of these situations, you know, you never will find out who the real author was. We see these great works of art come onto the screen, and we enjoy it. You know, we celebrate it, but we have no idea of the trials and the tribulation the person who created it has gone through. You know, some people are killed so that it is silent. Because when you're talking about big franchises, like my work is massive, Strictly Come Dancing, Dancing with Stars, these are all major productions. You know, people get paid thousands to appear on a show, on an episode of one of my shows, and yet the creator didn't want to pay 1 penny. This is where it's at, you know, for these people, and it's a paradigm, it's a mindset that believes that we are slaves. Still,
that's true.
You know,
7.
And so we have to change. Yes, my darling.
We've got Naomi here, and Naomi, you've heard of Naomi, and she holds surgeries and also she does campaigning. Would you like to quickly tell 7?
Yes. Greetings, 7. How are you, my dear?
Okay. Hi, darling. You okay?
I'm fine. Yes. I'm just going to be really brief, because I've got to dash this evening. So, but I know we're going to catch up with you very soon.
On the 16th.
On the
of
16th.
December.
Yeah.
16th
It's the 16th. It's at Loughborough, isn't it? The
Loughborough
Loughborough
Centre in
Centre.
Brixton.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity to catch up soon. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you really how you finding how's the targeting with you right now? Immediately, you know, as you go about your daily life, because coming back to the subject of targeting, which is the campaign that I'm sort of launching, I just wanted to hear from you. Is there any words that you can, you know, maybe advice, maybe, you know, a bit of your, we've heard your experience, but maybe just to, that may help the campaign, guide it where it may need to go, because I've launched it more or less. I'm in the process of doing more, which will be revealed as we go along. But yeah, how are you finding your own experience with the targeting right now, and what would you say to targeted individuals who are new to all this?
Okay, so first of all, let me try to understand your campaign a little bit better. Is it to raise awareness of targeting, and how is it transpiring?
Well, I'm doing a Photo Me campaign, so basically a lot of targeted individuals are followed, you know, via organised stalking, ain't no secret, gang stalking. And so I've actually, and a lot have documented what they've gone through by taking a picture with their mobile phone or their laptop, you know. And so my campaign is simply a Photo Me campaign, but of them. So I flipped it round. And it's basically, oh look, there is a woman, you know, at a bus stop on a mobile phone. It's showing the whole, it's kind of having a laugh on the other, you know, not having a laugh because it is a serious issue and a very frustrating issue, but it's turning it around on them to say, well, oh look, it's just a woman with a mobile phone. Oh look, it's just someone who is at a bus stop who may or may not be following me. Either way, it brings some awareness to the issue of surveillance, because it can be anyone. It brings some awareness to the issue of targeting in local areas just by being very, you know, in your face. Oh look, there's somebody for mobile phone. And those are blown up as massive posters, and I'm billboarding them around town basically. And it's also on the back of my art exhibition. So the art exhibition launches into that, and there will be pieces that will be screen printed. I'm doing a zine, and the rest will just be the Photo Me. And I invite people, I invite individuals who feel that they've been targeted to come down to be photographed and to be screen printed and to engage in some sort of shared discussion to break the hold of this insidious program and to bring it out in the open.
Wow.
The purpose of the photograph, I'm just getting asked, sorry, by Bless. He's just asked me the purpose of the photograph. I brought a few here. The purpose of the posters and the photographs is that I know that when a lot of targeted individuals mention that they're being targeted and stalked and followed, it's taken the power back. That's the purpose. You might see it as, well, you know, it's just, it engages curiosity. You're just seeing somebody who is on a mobile phone in a photograph, and then the caption is, oh look, there's that person. Oh look, it's just a woman on a mobile phone. Some people have been targeted by the same person day in, day out, at the same time going to work, on the train, the same person, and back home again, and where they work. I'm sorry, but a person knows when they're being targeted and when they're being stalked. It's not a secret. Come on, let's not be shy now. You know when you're being followed. You know, Seven. You know when you've had that experience. So I'm just turning it. What I'm saying is I'm flipping it around on them, and I'm engaging curiosity. And a lot of people have been curious, and it's as simple but as clever as that, and that's it. Well, yes. But what it does is it more than that is it's a clever way of advertising. It's a clever way of bringing some sort of awareness to a very important issue that gets sidelined by the police. It gets sidelined by MPs. It gets sidelined by councillors. It gets sidelined by quite a lot of people. And so we're living in a society where surveillance is at every corner. You walk out of your block, there's CCTV, there is vans parked downstairs monitoring. It has happened. There are certain places that go through a certain area. I know one in Wembley, and you're going through that area and the police can actually monitor your texts. You're texting Bless, you're texting maybe Sister Jean, you know, and they can see what's on that text. They can see what you've deleted, what you've saved, who you last spoke to, what you say or not on Messenger. So we are living in a surveillance state. So why not bring it out on mobile phone? Why not have it out there?
Yeah,
Do you see what I mean?
I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's an empowering idea. I think it's necessary as well.
Thank you.
But what I would say is that as somebody who's gone through the courts, you know, I encourage everybody to take photographs and document your experiences, because we need to, you know, we have to give ourselves justice. You know, there is nobody that's going to go out there and give us justice. There's nobody to go to get justice. We have to give ourselves justice.
I agree.
So I will say this from experience, somebody who's been dealing with the courts for the last 15 or plus, well, it's been longer than that actually, but I would say that from experience in terms of what is called prima facie evidence, that means the first facts, I would be a little bit careful of how you deal with these captions.
Yes.
The reason I say this is because they love to deem targeted individuals as having mental health issues. You know, we're talking about psychopathic people who are totally insane, who are carrying out these programs to sane people. And what they do, they deal with reverse psychology. They love to flip the script and make it look like the person who's being violated is either another. They can't make that person, if they can't make that stick, and they try to malign that person's character in some way, shape or form. So what I would say is that instead of making it like, oh, that woman just on the mobile phone, be more confrontational. This woman has been following me for 10 years.
Be specific.
This woman is the same woman I've seen for 20, since last month. Whenever you've seen a person. Rather than make it kind of tongue-in-cheek, I think it should be confrontational. It should bring out the people who are doing these things, put them on the spotlight, because what it will do, it will make people that are carrying out I think, you know, because a lot of the people that are employed to do the gang stalking are unemployed people. They're either drug addicts or people who have got no money, no income. So they employ these people covertly to go around and follow people, stalk people, harass people, and they're getting a little money on the side. Okay, to do this. It could be carried out on social media. So they'll make a fake profile of themselves, and they'll leave humorous comments on your videos. They'll, you know, this is what's happening to me. I will tell you a little bit about what's happening to me right now. But the reason why I say this to you is because every single picture that you take and people put forward potentially could be used in a court case.
I thought of that. I thought of the court case, and that's thank you for keying that in. Maybe that's why I've kept it a bit, or as it appears, tongue-in-cheek at this early stage, because I'm not so much pointing a name in the picture. Do you see? It's just a photo, and we can take a photo of someone in public. My key reason for doing that is because I'm drawing attention to a matter of great public interest. You know, it is an interest. We're interested in the stalking. We're interested in hate crime. We're interested in something called covert surveillance and covert harassment. And it's a public interest that people become aware of it. I'm not putting names in the picture, but you're right. It's disarming in a very clever way. And I'm sure that, and I like your approach. You know, it's very fiery to really go out there and say, these are the people that, you know, people have come to me and said they've noticed.
I don't think people should be ambiguous about it. I think it should be very, very straightforward. That's my opinion. I mean, obviously this is you, Becky, and you have your divine instructions while you're doing it and what you're doing. But personally, for me, as somebody that's got a library of pictures, because, like, for me, I documented all the vans that followed me over the years.
Yes, I know. I've seen some,
sometimes it's the same van that's outside your house, like 15 years. You know what I mean? Following you everywhere you go. So I have photographs of that van or vans, a series of vans. That are... There are. It's not a question of is it.
No, I've seen. There's been a few outside your apartment. You know, we've seen the images as well. So
So I've had that for years, and the way we've managed to deal with that situation is by putting it out there. This van is monitoring my building.
Yes.
If you put it in the van, they'll stay there. If you say this van is monitoring my building, trust me, they're going to go.
Because you've highlighted them.
You put the spotlight on them, so to speak, you know. And this is definitely work in progress. I think it has a lot of potential, and I think maybe just starting it off gradually, and I've enjoyed the responses so far. Thank you for sharing that, Seven, because that's really encouraging. It's certainly food for thought, and maybe we can dialogue more about it when you come down. I really look forward to seeing you as well on the 16th.
I'm always happy to see you. And
thank you.
And you're most welcome. What's happening for me? Let me just say this. For, you know, in terms of my case, it's quite unique in the sense that it's been through the judiciary and I've won my case. I have courtroom audio that establishes that I've won. I have documents from, sealed documents from Lord Justices establishing that I've won. I have a report which was done by a senior police criminal analyst who done a comprehensive report on my case and the judiciary and the facts of my case. We also have a comprehensive report into Grenfell Tower and what happened, because the two things are linked. Because some of the individuals that are in the case are definitely linked to what transpired in Grenfell Tower. Now, despite all of that evidence, right now there is a campaign, and it is vicious and malicious campaign to get rid of the evidence off social media, okay? And also to malign me. They've tried to make it look like I'm a nutcase, and none of this is true, even though the courtroom audio actually makes very, very clear what has transpired. This man, who's part of the crime ring, who's running the targeting operations, you know, he's basically come forward because as we start to rise, as the whole targeting phenomena starts to get traction and the awareness grows, what we're seeing is the fear retaliation response. And this is what these people do. They retaliate because they're afraid. They know what they've been doing to us has been highly criminal. It's heinous crime against humanity. You know, people are being murdered. People are killing themselves because they can't take it no more. And the scope of it, what is happening to people, people are being chipped. People are, you know, it's just the most vile, vulgar, you know, program ever in existence. It's like Nazi Germany.
But Seven, I'm just trying to jump in here. Been really jumping here, but we just got some time challenges. Because we do expecting 2 more people to phone in, talking about some couple of events what's taking place as well. So, Seven, I wonder if you can give out your website and your email address or whatever, so people can make further contact with you. Because we literally got a few minutes left on the show, and it's really a pleasure to connect with you. You really is a breath of fresh air. Yes.
Thank you so much. On the last note, anybody who's targeted, do take photographs, document your situation. Try not to use your mobile phone. Try to get a digital camera. They can erase pictures remotely on a Wi-Fi phone or a smartphone. So it's always good to use digital as much as possible and not use your phone for those type of things. For anybody who wants to stay in touch with what I'm doing, you can go to Solutionary Media Network on YouTube. So that's SOULUTIONARIES. Solutionaries. SOUL like soul. UTIONARIES. Media Network, and you can stay in touch and subscribe. Please like and subscribe and share the videos. There's a lot of videos about targeting. I also do videos about how you can do your own court cases. So if you go on my channel and scroll down to original videos, you can see there. You can also go to my my website, which is Solutionaries Media Network. That's my website, and if you put Gmail at the end of it, you'll get my email so that you can send me a piece of mail as well. So I would say stay healthy, invest in crystals, black tourmaline, shungite, and organite to protect yourself from magnetic frequencies. And there's some wonderful people making wonderful devices, which I'm sure Natalie will give you the information about the brothers out there that are doing like Melchizedek, who does jewellery to protect yourself from directed energy weapons and electromagnetic frequencies. So I would say anybody's targeted, and these are good things to have anyway. I am launching own media network very soon, so Natalie would love to have you on, and also Auntie G and Dougie, to all of you to come on to a show. That's imminent. So we'll be doing shows as well. So much love to everybody. Stay strong and stay close to God, the Most High.
And Seven,
most importantly ever, we have divine protection. So always stay in line with your spiritual guides. We have our ancestors, we have angelic forces around us. So, stay close to the Most High, the number one thing I would say. Stay
give thanks.
And empowered,
Give thanks, Sevens. All right then.
Seven, I shall see you, if not before, on the 16th of December. When we all meet up together, and then we can we take steps forward from there. Okay. So
all right. Thank you so much for inviting me on. After everybody.
No problem. The story needs to come out. It needs to be told, and other people who are suffering needs to know that they're not suffering in vain. They're not alone. Okay.
No, they're not alone. There's many of us.
Yeah.
Peace and power to everybody.
All right. Give thanks.
A million more reasons to care. I've got 1,000 more reasons. A million more reasons to care. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. You've got an aura so sweet, so sweet, babe. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you. I've got 1,000 more reasons to love. a million more reasons to care. Oh yeah, say,
Okay then, we do have Brother Dermot will be phoning in very shortly. Talking about the event was taking place on the 7th of December. So I just wanted to phone in and also expecting a phone call from Sister Juliet. So we got tight. So hopefully get them to phone in. Juliet's got a protest march was taking place, so she wanted people to know about it, encourage many people to come down, organizing a minibus for you to come on there. So it won't cost you nothing, just fill up the minibus and get involved. So we're waiting for Brother Dermot just to comment upon us. And team. Supreme, do you want to say anything? Or you're good where you are? To Dermot, just get ready to come. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's a very interesting conversation with Sevens, Natalie Moore, also Naomi in the studio, yourself talking on this topic. I'm hoping this can be uploaded. There was a lot of information in. There's things that, I would love to go and research because something that she touched on, crystal children and indigo children. It's very interesting because just before they came, we were actually talking about children who have Asperger's. And I think people class those children as indigo children as well. Okay, so once again, we're going to say greetings to one and all lot this way. This is Bless Radio. The studio number is 07 9444 31366. Yeah. Okay, so it's very interesting. Now, if you want to check out Natalie's book, Remote Control, you can go on Amazon and get that. Also, we had Seven, who is Seven Gates, and she has a YouTube called Solutionaries Media Network. So that's spelled SOULUTIONAIRIES Media Networks.
Okay, sorry. Dermot.
Greetings.
Oh, this is Auntie Juliet.
Hello.
Juliet, can you hear me?
Greetings.
Yeah, can you hear me? Juliet, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me? Well on, Juliet. Juliet, can you hear me?
Hello.
No, I'm saying, can you hear me? You can't hear me. Juliet, can you hear me? What's happening here? Oh, damn.
So I'm going to repeat that again.
Sorry, Supreme. We just lost. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I loud and clear now.
All right, then, fantastic. Well, Julia, you ain't got much time because there's another bird supposed to phone as well. So, can you let people know about the protest? Sure. What's taking place? Let people know about the protest, please. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, I'll be brief. Just quickly, contain Jean.
Yeah, just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Someone on the line.
Auntie Jean is actually aware of the protest and has agreed to work with us to help transport people up to the protest. Now, both my children are basically affected by racism and in school, and there are so many other children that are affected. So we've decided to have an anti-racism and discrimination protest outside the school of one of my sons, and that's Holland Park School in Clacton on Sea, and that's on the 29th of November, and that'll be from 2 till 4:30.
What? Sorry, from what time?
2 till 4:30. It's just a peaceful protest outside of the school, for a couple of hours to really cover the top when people go to collect their children, and also make it known to stop with it without weaponry. Just almost saying no to it, especially where our children are concerned, because my children were, you know, and especially my youngest one, it was both and staff, and then for me. So it's really about all of us standing up as people and saying that we're not going to tolerate it. So it's an anti-racism discrimination for protesters at Holland Park School. That's in Clacton. I'm working with Auntie Jean to organise and transport people who can come. I'm asking to really get as many people as possible to come and support the protest. I'm Jean for helping and supporting and, you know, with the community leader she is. If anyone wants to get involved, find out about it, give me a call. My number is 07 429 594 272. That's right. Sorry. 07 429 594 272. And call me Juliet. And hope they can come and support. As many people that can come down, we just appreciate as many places as possible, as many people as possible, especially people suffering from racism. So this is the opportunity to come and make your voice heard.
Okay, so let people know the times and the date again, please.
Yeah, it's from 2 o'clock till 4:30, and it's at Holland Park School in Clacton on Sea. That's CO15 6NG. Auntie Jean and I are working to organise transport from London up to Clacton till 4:30 p.m. And it's at Holland Park School in Clacton, and that goes to 6NG. My number is 07 429 594 272, and we'd appreciate as much support as possible. The press and the media will be there. I mean, people know about both of my sons. Both cases have been in the media, on ITV this morning, on Sky News, in the BBC, in the Sun, in the Daily Mirror, in the Daily Mail. It's been literally everywhere. So, you know, we're also expecting press coverage, and we are taking legal action against the school. And this protest is part of our social to show that it's not just about taking action where they've got choices. And, you know, I'm on my, I haven't got a lawyer at the moment, and I'm still looking for one. So if a can call me as well. It's about, you know, me and another parent who's doing the school racism and discrimination. It's about us taking a stand and saying enough is enough. So I need as many voices and as many people to support us as possible. People know me out in the community. Okay. And if you don't know me out in the community, I've always been an ardent supporter of the community, and right now I'm asking for your support too.
Okay then. Juliet, give time. We've got some time challenge. We've got about 5 minutes. And we've got another person posing phone to talk about the event that's taking place. So what we do, probably next week, we'll schedule a bit more time for you to talk, give a little background. But at least people got some information now, and at least they can book in their diary. Yeah? All right then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you both. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much. Okay then. That was Juliet give us some information. And hopefully next week she can give some more information, a little background. And said that that's on the 29th. So Andrew is going to book, we're organising taking a minibus to go down to in Clapton. See? So next week we definitely get some more information. Okay, wait for Brother Dermot to come in upon us to let us know about the event. I know he's been trying to bring it for the longest time. So Dermot, please come in upon us.
Oh baby, oh reminder of things to do. Gives me the incentive to love just you. Collective thoughts, images and views brings me to the fact that I love you for true. What a depth of intricate beauty I see. That delectable style, so radiant to me. My conscious thoughts of an aura so sweet, a delightful appearance and a bond. I got 1,000 more reasons to love you, a million more reasons to care. I got 1,000 more reasons to love you, a million more reasons to care. With a million words to express your smile, so healthy, so vibrant, and exhaustible style. Contented to know and that we were meant, fascinated by reality and innocent, to abide forever. My dreams delight, having you beside me, night after night, combined with health, and you always there. My day's resolution, my everyday prayer.
Okay, then spend a call from
Yeah.
A million more reasons to care. A million more reasons to care. I've got 1,000 more reasons. A million more reasons to care. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. You've got an aura so sweet, yeah, so sweet, babe. I'm gonna love